Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's time to do my finished pages for August, and I believe I did 16 pages in August, although a lot of them came out of one single book, and you'll see that soon, but let's just jump right into everything. So first I did a page out of 50 Jungle Miniatures by Camellia Angel Kova. I pulled this one out because I hadn't colored in it in a while, and like the safari one last month, I was thinking the jungle is kind of summery themed, so I did these toucans and I tried to base them off real wild toucans. Of course they aren't blue, but I just wanted something that was not the same gray color as the other one. So here's my toucans, and I did use some older markers on the background, and you can tell that they're kind of drying up a little bit, especially there in that corner, but that's okay. And actually, to be honest, I'm not totally sure if I like that I colored the background or if I just wanted to leave it blank, but it felt weird, this enclosed area being blank, so I did go in with a green color. But there's a little bit of glitter gel pen on the straws. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this page overall. Mostly because of the background, but I like the rest of it. And also I wasn't really sure what they're setting on. I wasn't sure if these were leaf chairs or if they were also flowers, because there's so many flowers in the picture too. So I went with flowers. I guess you could make them anything. But yeah, that's that page, 50 Jungle Miniatures. So next is the book that I colored a lot in, and it was Joshua Dunbar's new easy coloring book. This is one of the first books he self-published, not through Jade Summer. And I don't really know, I just kind of went crazy in this book this month. I colored 5 pages in it. For some reason, I was just really enjoying it. And to be honest, this could be a book I'm thinking more now that, like, I do several pages a month in and try to finish the whole book, because it is kind of, like here, this is leaves. I know somewhere there's a page of just, like, pumpkins, and so, you know, there's, like, some fall pages. Let me see, this one's, like, a winter page with the wreaths. So this is a book that I could color in year-round if I wanted to do. Like, if I kept up the pace and did 5 pages every month, I could have it done in a year, because I think this is 50 pages. Let's actually see. Well, I don't see a number. It's quite a thick book, so I'm going to assume 50. Oh, 65 actually. So maybe a little over a year to complete, but it would be a fun project book to try to complete. But yeah, less rambling, let's get into it, right? So I did this lemonade page. I've seen a lot of people do this page, and you could make this anything. I mean, it could be iced tea, it could be punch. I see a lot of people just do lemonade, but I didn't want to be like everyone else and just do lemonade, so I did pink lemonade instead. And I think that's fun, and I think it turned out really good. I tried to color some of the leaves. Like, I did the pink base on the leaves first and then did green over them, because I did kind of want to give an appearance like the leaves were actually in the lemonade, but I also didn't want to color them pink because I didn't want the whole page to be pink, if that makes any sense. But I do like how this turned out. Actually, I'm very happy with the ice cubes. So he does put a little bit of shading in these books. I'll show you a blank page like this, but you can see it's very light, and it's better to use as a guide. So like Christine Karen's grayscale, for example, is like totally different. You know, you color the page and it really looks like it's been shaded, but this one feels a little bit different when you color over it. I don't know, it's not quite the same, so I go back in with a darker marker and do the shading myself based on like the guidelines that Joshua Dunbar has laid out, so it's just a little bit different. And, you know, I didn't just flat color it. That's why I kind of, like, enhanced it, I guess. But I'm very, very, very happy with the ice cubes. You could go over them with, like, white gel pen or white paint, but the lines in this book are very, very thick and very dark, so it would take a lot of paint or gel pen, and I just did not feel like doing that. So, yeah, I did do some white highlights, though, around the drops of water that he had on here, like the condensation, and then some highlights here. Yeah, very simple page, though. Of course, all of these are going to be simple. They're in the easy book. This is the one I did first this month that got me so, like, into this book. It was just this page of these succulents and this planter. again, I colored it and used his guide for shading just straight up. Also, I am using my new Ohuhu brush markers in here because I think I said in another video, they're like super juicy, which is great. Not really a problem, but you know, if you color in a book with thinner lines, then they do bleed quite a bit. It can be harder to do. So I was kind of like breaking them in basically and using them in a book with such thick lines where I could afterwards use them in something with thinner lines, if that makes sense. Just kind of like trying to dry them up a little bit almost in a way so I could use them in some of my other books. So you'll see more limited color palettes because I have the 72 set, I think. Yeah, the 72 set. So you will see more limited color palette, but that's okay. Next I did this picnic, and I'm not sure, I think these are hamburgers, but I've also never seen anyone take hamburgers to a picnic. That's more of like a sandwich thing, I think. But yeah, I did this picnic page, nice for summertime, and I used a little bit of white gel pen for highlights on the grapes, the apple, and the thermos back here. And yeah, again, I colored these like hamburgers. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but I also really like how this one turned out. And then I did this truck with the watermelons, selling watermelons. He has a page that in Easy Christmas that's like the station wagon from Christmas Vacation with the tree on top, and this reminded me a lot of that page. I think maybe he has like a vehicle page in the Halloween one too. So I like doing these actually. I don't have a lot of pages that have cars in them. And once again, just some white gel pen for highlights. No glitter or anything. I was keeping these pages extremely straightforward and simple. And then last, I did this ice cream sundae. I really like coloring his food. To me, he is like one of the best artists for food. I think I colored already all of the food pages in both Christmas and Halloween. I think I colored those right away when I got the books. The good news is this one also has a lot of food in it, and summertime, of course, I had to color this sundae. I did chocolate ice cream with caramel sauce, strawberry ice cream with chocolate sauce, and vanilla ice cream with strawberry sauce. And I'm actually really happy with how the strawberry turned out. It actually looks like a very nice strawberry color. I used one of my old Ohuhu pastel markers, and it just was like perfect for this. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. The one thing I will say though is if you use a super dark marker like I was here and on this, the grayscale that he uses doesn't really show through. So to do the shading on this one, I was looking at the other two ice creams and trying to think, where do I think the shading might be? So that is a heads up. If you're using a super dark marker, it just doesn't really show up. But I'm also very pleased with how the bananas turned out. Since I have the brush markers, I was actually able to do like the flick to get the texture of the banana. And yeah, these are also good pages to color if you're like wanting to learn how to shade or something. They could be good practice. So next is, of course, the Matchick Mouse summer book. I think in September I'm going to move to fall and Halloween, but I really do like this summer one. I've been very fond of it. Oh, I still have a page here. So I did first this one by the fire, talking to all the little bugs and telling them campfire stories. I'm very pleased with this one. Some of my other Matchick Mouse books, the printing isn't super great on the skies that are already black, and it's almost like a really light gray, and I always have to go over it myself with a black marker. But this one is very solid black, and I think, of course, it depends on what Amazon facility your books come from. You know, sometimes the printer is just running out of ink or whatever. This one, though, is fantastic and is stark. And yeah, I just used my Ohuhu markers on this one, and I did a lot with the fire, and I made all the little bugs and the snake here illuminated, and same for her and her face. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this one turned out. And I did some glitter for the stars back there. Yeah, really happy with how this one turned out. I like the technique for doing the yellow highlights on everything that's like around a fire. The next page was super short and very simple. And it was this Firefly page, and I colored this one because I have a yellow Posca pen and I wanted to see what it would look like on the black background, if it would actually look like the fireflies were glowing, and it does, and I'm very happy with how that looks. This was basically, I just colored it to test this out, and I feel like it took maybe 5 minutes to do the mouse and the trees. Most of it was just I really wanted to see what the paint was going to look like. Yeah, I'm very happy with how the paint looks. And then again, the stars are the Pentel Sparkle Pop pins in silver. And I did do some white gel pen on this one around the wings of the lightning bugs that are in the black space. If I did it out here, you know, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense because you wouldn't be able to tell. But I did it for these, and then around the jar here to give the impression that it was glass. Very happy with this one. And then last but not least is probably my favorite page that I colored this month. And that's this sunset page. Just relaxing in a chair watching. It could be sunrise, it could be sunset, it could be a blue sky, but I made it sunset and I went with a more different color palette than I normally would. I would normally do like orange into purple or something. And I did it this time into like a maroon and then a blue color, and I'm very, very happy with how it came out. And again, I did like the yellow highlights on the trees and stuff and on her face, like it was reflecting the sunlight. And white gel pen around the clouds and this little dragonfly here, and for some highlights on her hat and tail and the worm, of course. And I'm also really happy with how the clouds turned out. I tried a different color combo technique on those. I did a pink and blue and soft colors because of, you know, the sunset. The clouds kind of look like that, and then sunset. I didn't want them to just be gray or white. So yeah, I'm also very happy with that page. I colored another page out of Girl Moments by Kawaii. I really like this book. I think the people in it are very cute and well drawn, but a lot of the pages come off to me as being like cozy wintertime or fall pages, so maybe I will color more in it in the coming months. But I did do this one that I did feel could maybe be a little summery or springtime, and it's the girl feeding the geese. I guess they could be ducks too, but I made them geese, and I did a lot of different things on this page. So, first and foremost, I tried a wood grain texture for the fence, which I'm very happy with. There were two different methods I saw on Instagram, and one was to do your base color, and then to just kind of draw in the wood grain shapes, and that's what I did. And there's another method where you draw in the wood grain shapes continuously until the whole fence is filled in, and I feel like that would take a really, really, really long time, and I wasn't in the mood to try that and make it take so long. So I did the first method, and I'm actually happy with how it looks. It looks good enough for me. And then I also did some grass down here because this was just bare, and I didn't want it to just be bare green. And then I also added some pink paint to make some little flowers, and of course there's white gel pen on the stitches, on her boots and her hair, you know, all the highlights and everything. And I did do one of the ducks, like the ugly duckling is the little gray duck. I wanted them to just be a little different and not all the same, but I'm very, very happy with how this page turned out. Actually, I'm really, really pleased with this one. I like the color choices that I made for her outfit, and like I said, I'm really happy with how the fence turned out and also the grass. So that was a fun one. But yeah, like there's a page in here that's super popular, girl, see if I can find it, working at like a coffee shop, and to me that just feels very like fall themed. Yeah, like this one here, that's so fall themed to me. And I don't know, a lot of them just seem, like I said, very, very fall, like very cozy and like under a blanket. And of course there's this winter one here. They all seem very fall themed, so I will color more in that one, I think, in the coming months. Next is colored by number. Actually, you know what? No, let's do one more book, and then we can do all the color by number books at the end. So let me get out my, like, blotter page here, because this is the page I did last, and I was still drawing it. Okay. So I did a page out of one of Jade Summer's very old original books, the Kawaii grayscale. This combines two books that I do not remember the name of anymore. And it doesn't say... Yeah, it doesn't say, and I don't even know if Jade Summer still sells this book, because this was before they credited their artists, which is not very positive, and I really do wish I knew who drew this because I very much like their style, and if they were independent and selling more books, I would love to buy more. But since Jade Summer never credited them, I have no idea. And I haven't colored in this book for years, but I was really feeling the grayscale after I did the Joshua Dunbar book, so I dug this one out. And this was actually the very last page I did this month, was this cowgirl, and I'm very ready for fall, so you can see that I did all the fall colors for the leaves. I also used my Ohuhu brush tip markers in this book, and I'm very happy with how they turned out. This one also has, you know, thicker lines, so it works a little bit better. And the only thing I did was some white gel pen for her lip and the apple here. These kind of already had highlights on them, and I just went over them with white gel pen to make them stand out a little bit more. But yep, cowgirl. And then I also did a very summertime page much earlier in the month. I did this one, which was like tropical Hawaii, maybe even. And I like this one a lot. This was just blank out here and wasn't even grayscaled because, you know, she kind of is focused in a frame. So I did it in black. That's what I like to do when there's a frame, but they still give you a little bit outside of the frame. I like to just do it in black because I think it looks very nice and neat. And I really like how this page turned out. I'm not totally sure if these here are flowers or they're leaves, but I did them like they are flowers. Yeah, and again, there's just like a little bit of white gel pen highlights in a couple places where there were already highlights on the page. But simple, straightforward, and I liked coloring both of those this month. Okay, now we can do color by number. So I have Stained Glass Adorable Dogs by Sen Ong. This was the book that my comments were very split on whether it was AI or not, and I'm starting to think maybe it is because some of the trees in the back, in the tree line, and like this tree under the duck, it's a little bit nonsensical, and some people pointed out some other pages when I was doing flip throughs that maybe looked a little nonsense too. Same as the way some of the leaves are down here. Like when you're individually coloring all the parts, they do feel a little nonsense. But oh well, I already bought the book and paid for it, so I will color in it. But I just, again, I want to keep everyone informed in case you don't want to buy AI. You deserve to know. I mean, the artist says they draw everything on their Amazon, but they can say whatever they want on there. So, unfortunately, my marker was drying out on the dog's body. So he's kind of got this funky thing going on, but I did this Japanese dog. It's probably a Shiba or an Akita. But I do think this page is really cute, and I do like the Torii gate behind him. And also it ended up being a fall page. She doesn't include any peaks other than like the few that you get right here. There's no peaks in the back, but she does have like a QR code, he or she, I guess, I don't actually know, that you can scan, and it does show you the finished pages, but I have never honestly looked at that. I just pick a page at random. Based on how it looks uncolored and color it, and just a happy accident that it kind of ended up being a fall themed page on that one. So next is Women's World by Kira Shershniva, who, like I've said before, I wish she would come back. I wish Sun Life Drawing would come back. Neither of them have published any new books forever, and I love their books. They're some of my favorite color by number books, especially these color by colors. I think she does it the best. Such simple colors, and I really like the paper she puts it on. I don't know, I just think that she was one of the best at it. And I already did her Country Life book totally, and I have a full flip through of that. But yeah, as you can tell, I did the cover page. This is Spain. I work back to front in this book because once you color a page, you can see how the guide gets all covered up. And I guess you don't really need the guide because it is color by color, so you know, you can look at the outlines, but still, I do like to look at the guide over here when I'm looking at the outlines, so that's why I'm going back to front in this book, and I'm only doing one a month to kind of savor it and slow down because she doesn't have any more out. But I really like this page, actually. This one was really pretty, and I use Sharpies and Bic markers in these because I always have, so I just stuck with it. I don't know why I started using them. They really like this paper, and I think they turn out nice and smooth usually. So yes, this girl from Spain, and this one was a nice scene with the castle in the background. I don't know if there's a famous castle in Spain, maybe. I really don't know too much about the country, but this was a really pretty page. So happy with that one. And then last but not least, I did finish Asian Animals by Eclipse Publishing, AJ Quinnell, and I will have to pick up another book of his, although I was looking at his Amazon. This seems to be the only book that's in this particular style where the lines are so thick and it's very, I don't know how to word it, like there's kind of designs within the lines themselves almost. Like, I'll show you an example. Like this very first elephant here, it's got like the paisley designs inside and it's thick lines. Like this is the only one I found that's this exact style. So when I pick up one of his other books, I'm not sure what style I'll try next. Then I cannot get the page, there we go, that I did. It was this fish page. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about here. There's kind of like mandalas and paisleys like inside. It's not just, you know, squares or just like random shapes. It's kind of got a pattern to it, and I really like that. This is probably one of my favorite color by number books for that reason, which is why I finished it. So yeah, first I did this fish. And it's a little confusing to me because I'm not totally sure what I'm looking at. Is this his eye? Is this his eye? And then this is his lip, and then his bottom lip, or that's his eye, and that's his lip, and that's his nose. I don't really know, but it's a fish. I can tell that, and I did like that there was a green border, so the whole page wasn't water. And then I did, this is the last page I did in this book, was the monkey on the cover, because I'm not the biggest fan of oranges and yellows, and I could tell from the cover that this monkey was very orange and yellow, and I just didn't want to color something with all those colors. It's the fun part about these books is that he doesn't even have anything on the back, so it's a surprise except for what's on the cover, unless you're seeing someone post on Instagram what the pages inside are going to look like. And I mean, I know it gives you the guide over here, but I don't pay so much attention to that. I just pick the page and do it. Of course, unless I can see it on the front and see that it has so much yellow and orange, and I just wasn't drawn to it. So this is actually the very last one I did, but I am happy with how it turned out. You know, he's cute. I like his purple face. And then last is this pangolin. I'm not totally sure how to pronounce it. They're like a big anteater that's going extinct in like China. It's climbing a tree, and this one was also kind of almost like fall vibes because the scales are nice like fall leaf colors, and there are kind of like leaves already to begin with. So I actually really liked this page. And this book I was just using up all kinds of markers, Sharpies, Bic, a very old set of Ohuhu markers before they even offered brush tips and old Cali art markers. So honestly, this book is just a mishmash and a collection of all kinds of different supplies, but I'm very happy that I finished it. When I came back from my break, I didn't have that many pages left in this book to finish. But yeah, that's my finished pages for August, and you will see a completed book flip through for this one. I will do that. Hopefully I have a little bit more time to color in September. I was very busy in August, had a lot of things going on after work. I still feel like I managed to do quite a few pages, but you know, some of them were in the easy book, and I'm very ready to move on to fall coloring and Halloween especially. Those are my favorite seasons and holiday to color, and I do like to color seasonally, so I just wasn't quite ready to break out fall, but I think the weather is finally coming around for that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you are looking forward to coloring a lot of fall and Halloween pages as well.